Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm Office Bloke Aidan.
I'm G.
I'm Sophie.
And today we've got 10 mega projects in the USA coming soon.
I do like to watch these like things when they're getting built. So when we lived in the UAE, when we arrived in, it's about 2009.
11? Oh.
I think it's about 2009.
2009?
Yeah. Where we lived, there was nothing. There was one hotel, which was the Raha Beach Hotel.
Ooh.
And absolutely nothing else. And then over the next 7 years, they built a water park on
Theme park.
Yeah,
Yas Island.
A theme park on Yas Island,
Nice.
with probably 5 or 6 hotels. They built multiple compounds of villas and houses.
Mm-hmm.
They built about 3 or 4 more schools. So it was literally a sand pit that was a building.
Well, it's crazy how much the UAE's developed in the last 10 years.
And even just in the 7 years that we've been away, it's completely different again.
Yeah.
It's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think it will be amazing. You're forgetting about Masdar City.
Yeah.
Like, they made a little city, and when you go into the entrance, you get in a self-driving car that drives you to this place, and when you get there, it's like an indoor city type thing.
And there's no cars allowed there. It's all
Everyone's just walking around, and the place is like shopping centre. It's just like a literally like you're in the city centre, but you're inside somewhere.
Yeah, it was amazing.
That's so
The
strange.
best was that little car though, wasn't it? You
Yeah,
parked your
literally
car in the car park,
self-driving.
and then you walked up to like a little track, and this little white car came round, and the door opened, and you got in, and then it drove off on its own and took you around.
That's like something from a film.
Yeah,
Like, that's like not
yeah.
like.
You wouldn't believe it until you do it.
No.
Type thing.
No.
I need to go now. I need to go to the UAE.
Yeah.
It's on my list.
Do you know any that are currently being built or something?
Well, it says there Las Vegas Convention and Visitors Authority, so I'm guessing it's like convention centres that they're building. I'm not aware of anything particular that's being built.
Do you know what?
It looks as though
That looks like an F1 track. They look like F1
does,
cars.
doesn't it?
Oh, it could be. You're right.
So maybe they're building a racetrack.
Maybe.
Yeah.
In Las Vegas.
Yeah. Maybe.
Ooh.
That'll be a good Grand Prix.
Yeah.
Right, anyway, let's get right
It's
into it
blooming
now.
hot.
Yeah.
From a racetrack in the streets of Las Vegas to the highest sky deck in the Western Hemisphere, in this video, we'll look at the most expensive mega projects that are currently under construction in the United States. Let's start with number 10, Las Vegas Grand Prix,
way.
$500 million. In November 2023, the Grand Prix is heading to Las Vegas, Nevada for the first time in 40 years. Last time the city hosted the event,
did
a
not know
track
this.
was built in the parking lot of the Caesars Palace Hotel. This time, they're taking a far more ambitious approach, a spectacular circuit that takes the racers down Las Vegas' famous strip, blasting past the colorful lights of hotels, casinos, and the iconic Bellagio fountain. The roads in Las Vegas are old and bumpy and not suitable for high-speed racing. In the coming months, these roads will need to be completely resurfaced. The city is also paying for pit stops, a paddock, and other important facilities. In total, the project is expected to cost in the region of $500 million. But the race is expected to pay for itself. General tickets start at $2,000, and there are also a number of packages available, including a $1 million all-access experience.
What?
This ticket includes a tour of the track, VIP access behind the scenes, and a ride in the seat of a
I
real
wouldn't even pay for that if I could drive the car.
Or you could even afford it.
Yeah. Yeah, you got me there, to be fair.
F1 car. That isn't even the most expensive ticket on offer. The Caesars Palace Hotel is selling a $5 million Emperor's Package, which comes with 5 nights in the Nobu Sky Villa, a private chef, and of course, a ticket to the race. One thing is certain, when this track is finished, it will be a sight to behold. The Las Vegas Grand Prix will be a night race, making sure that the buildings on either side will be alive with lights and colors. But this isn't the most expensive project underway in the States at the moment. It isn't even close. Before we get to a project that costs more than 3 times as much, we want to take a brief moment to thank Incogni for sponsoring this video. Did you know that there are hundreds of companies called data brokers that collect personal information about virtually everyone on the internet? It's almost impossible to hide from this, and chances are that data 20% off of Incogni. And now let's move on with number 9, Brent Spence Bridge, $1.6 billion. In 1963, a bridge was built across the wide Ohio River, connecting the states of Ohio and Kentucky. It cost about $10 million, which is close to $70 million in today's money. The bridge had 2 decks. The top one carries traffic to Kentucky, and the bottom one carries traffic to Ohio. But there's a problem. When it was first built, the Brent Spence Bridge was designed to carry 100,000 vehicles per day, but population rates and general traffic have exploded in the decades since. In recent years, the bridge has carried more than twice the vehicles it's supposed to, and that could have some dangerous implications.
I hate bridges.
Back in 2011, part of the Brent Spence Bridge collapsed, with a chunk of concrete landing on a vehicle. The local government insists that the bridge is routinely inspected and structurally sound, and that the collapse was unrelated to rising traffic. But they do have other worries: congestion, gridlock, and general stoppages on the overcrowded roads. That's why a federal plan has been approved to build a...
I really don't like bridges that are like that, and then you can see over my toes curl. I just I can't
What?
do it.
Like what?
That are that high up, that are going, like you can see, like you can look down and see like rivers and other cars below. It just makes me like hyperventilate.
I'm sure you'll be fine.
Even the bridge
Second
going over
bridge.
to, like, from Earlham, like, you know, through the M60, and it goes over, like, the sewage works to go to the Trafford Centre.
Yeah, the Barton Bridge.
Yeah, that terrifies me.
Yeah.
Like, you know.
I've been on the Barton Bridge, where, you know which one we're talking about, the one
No.
where you go to the Trafford Centre, and it's been windy, and you can feel your car pulling to the side.
Yeah. And you're like, if I keep going, I'm just going to fall off the edge.
Yeah.
What, is there no barrier?
No,
Well, I mean,
Just
there
road
there's
and
a
then
small
bank.
one. There's a small one.
Yeah, but it's not like a proper, like,
No.
you know, like, heavy metal one that
I'd
I
rather
feel
have like big,
comfortable.
like raw, like the San Francisco Bridge. I think that's got like big whatsits, hasn't it?
like pillars or something to stop you.
like raw iron or whatever.
That's what
These,
we
like
need.
you can just see. If you lose control and crash into that, you're flipping over.
Just try and stay on the road then, eh?
Yeah.
for $1.6 billion. This newer bridge, which doesn't have a name yet, will take on all the highway traffic from Interstates 71 and 75, while the original bridge only deals with local vehicles. This way, traffic will be significantly lower, which will reduce the risk of gridlock. Number 8. MSG Sphere, $2 billion. This next project takes us back to Las Vegas, where the company behind Madison Square Garden is building a state-of-the-art entertainment venue unlike anything the world has seen before. The interior space of the MSG Sphere will be fitted out with the largest LED screen on the planet, wrapping around the circular walls to completely surround the audience. The screen will be accompanied by 4D effects, including smells, wind, and seat vibrations. It's next-level entertainment, a completely immersive experience. The exterior of the sphere will be impressive too, with a shell of programmable lighting. In the autumn, the lights could turn the sphere into a giant pumpkin, or in the winter, a giant snow globe.
Oh, that's cool.
As well as all this, the MSG Sphere will be the largest spherical building in the world, beating out the Avicii Arena in Stockholm. The $2 billion venue was meant to open in 2021, but construction was pushed back after the COVID-19 pandemic disrupted the project's supply chain. Now, MSG is hoping to open this spectacular sphere in 2023. If all goes to plan, an identical structure will also be built in London, but that project is still waiting for approval. Number 7. Gordie Howe International Bridge, $4.5 billion. This next structure is the most ambitious project on the list so far, the longest cable-stayed bridge in North America, connecting Canada to the USA. It will be 2.5 kilometers long, with 6 lanes for traffic, and a total cost of approximately $4.5 billion. To put that figure into context, it's almost 3 times as much as the Brent Spence Bridge project, or more than twice as much as the MSG Sphere. This total spend includes one unusual cost, the transportation of several hundred snakes. The Butler's garter is a local species whose habitat will be destroyed by the new bridge. Canada's environmental laws required the snakes to be safely relocated to a different habitat before construction could get underway. The bridge is expected to open in
That's nice, isn't it?
It is nice.
As much as I don't like snakes, that's quite nice.
Yeah.
Because I know round the corner here, they've knocked down, I'm not even sure where it is they've knocked down, but they've ripped up some apple trees. And apparently there's people that for years and years have spent a lot of money trying to get the inside of the apples red the same as the outside. And they finally found this tree that now when you cut into the apple it's red inside, and these buffoons have ripped the trees up to build apartments. So I'm not happy.
What, are you going to go and get yourself an apple?
I'm going to
red inside?
I'm going to find some seeds and plant them.
Okay.
2024, it will be named after celebrated hockey player Gordie Howe, who spent most of his career with the Detroit Red Wings. Unfortunately, Howe passed away before the construction of the bridge began, but his son approves of the name. Gordie Howe started his career in Canada before moving to America. This bridge will help others to travel between the two countries, which is why his name was chosen for the project. Number 6. Amazon HQ2, $5 billion. The next project on this list is Amazon HQ2, a new corporate headquarters in Arlington, Virginia, for the world's second largest company. They already have an expensive HQ in Seattle, Washington, but they want to double their office space as profits continue to rise. When HQ2 is finished, it will accommodate 50,000 workers, making it larger than Amazon's HQ1, which currently holds 40,000. It's been a meteoric rise for a company whose first headquarters were the garage in Jeff Bezos' house. HQ2 wasn't always going to be built in Arlington. Amazon actually invited cities to bid for the chance to host their new headquarters. All around the country, local governments scrambled to offer tax breaks to Amazon in the hope the company would bring jobs to the city. This was a controversial process, with some people questioning if HQ2 would really benefit these cities, or if their desperate attempts to attract the project would actually lose them money. The most impressive part of the HQ2 will be the helix, an intricate structure more than 100 meters tall, which spirals upward like a strand of DNA. In a recent statement, Bezos compared the helix to the elemental form of galaxies, weather patterns, pine cones, and seashells. But not everyone is quite so complimentary. In 2021, The Verge described it as a glass poop emoji covered in trees.
Looks like a helter-skelter.
It does.
Number 5. Project Connect Texas, $10.3 billion. At more than double the cost of Amazon HQ2, Project Connect will be a groundbreaking upgrade to public transport in Austin, Texas. The plan is to build 2 light rail lines, 3 new bus lines, and a transit tunnel under downtown Austin, new park and ride services, and to majorly overhaul any other existing transport lines in the city. As well as making life easier for the people of Austin, Project Connect is aiming to achieve some environmental milestones. They are aiming for a zero-emission fleet of vehicles, with all the buses and trains running purely on electricity. This is actually a downsized version of the project compared to the original proposal put forward in 2020. That early version was more ambitious, but corners were cut in the aftermath of the COVID-19 pandemic. Number 4. Chicago O'Hare Airport Upgrade, $12.1 billion. Chicago O'Hare started its life as a military airfield, which was mainly used to provide new aircraft during the Korean War. But in 1955, it opened up for civilian flights and grew into one of the largest airports on Earth. No other airport has more runways than Chicago's 8. No other airport has as many international connections, 214 non-stop flights to destinations around the world. But this airport is overcrowded and inefficient. The terminals aren't quite big enough, and there aren't enough facilities to support the 50 million passengers who use the airport every year. That's why they've decided to roll out a state-of-the-art upgrade, expanding 2 of the airport terminals and increasing the gate count. Construction starts in 2026, while the airport will continue to operate as normal, with passengers and construction workers sharing the space. Overall, this upgrade is a massive project, but it's still not the most expensive one on this list. The next project will cost more than twice as much.
What?
Number 3. Hudson Yards, $25 billion. Hudson Yards is a massive urban development site in Manhattan, New York. It started off with a colossal platform, carefully built to...
Remember when we said we went to where you can abseil off the building?
Oh, right.
And go down forward. So that's where we went. That's where we went to. It's called Hudson Yards. And
so it's built now?
It's built now, yeah. It opened. I'm not sure when it opened. Well, it was open when we went.
Yeah. Well, when did you go? Just so the viewers know.
Last July.
You say July very funny, don't you?
Why?
July.
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 July. It's
July.
just July.
July.
July. July.
We went last July and prior to that November, the November before.
People in the comments will be able to tell us when that opened, alright?
Yeah.
Let us know.
Yeah, it's open now.
Did you abseil?
No, I was too scared. But that's the one with the glass. That's the one with the glass floor where you can look down.
Yeah,
onto,
is it?
Yeah,
It's kind of doing the same thing.
Well,
if you're looking
like
at
down into Manhattan type thing.
Yeah, hopefully it'll show you.
Yeah.
But it doesn't look like it's built, so.
Yeah.
sit on top of a storage yard for trains. Next, the platform was fitted out with stunning facilities which completely transformed the area. Parks and groves, shops and restaurants, offices, apartments, galleries, hotels, and the highest ice rink in New York. A chunk of the site is already open to the public, but there's still a lot of work to be done, which is due to start in 2023. From the hotels and high-rises to offices and schools.
Yeah, so it's open to the public, but not everything's finished, eh?
No, so they're still building on it.
Did it look finished, though?
Probably
just stuff inside at the top or something.
The bit that we went to was like a shopping mall. And you went up the escalators and it had, like you say, it had like restaurants and stuff in there. And then you went to the very top, had a champagne bar, and you could look out onto the river.
Did you know there were like apartments and stuff there?
I didn't know.
More and more buildings will be shooting up as part of the project's second phase. Of the parts of the project which are already finished, the most iconic is probably the Edge, the highest sky deck in the Western Hemisphere. The glass floor is a dizzying 100 floors above the ground below, and it is already drawing plenty of daredevil tourists. Nowhere else in the entire world is a glass
Daredevil
floor
tourist,
so
right,
far
yeah.
from the ground. Another icon of Hudson Yards is a honeycomb-like structure called Vessel. It's an impressively elaborate design, but it courted controversy when it first opened. Hudson Yards claimed ownership of any photos or videos which tourists took of the structure. They announced that they could use these photos for commercial purposes without needing to ask for permission. This policy led to a public outcry, and Hudson Yards was forced to backtrack. Now, anyone who takes a photo will own the photo too. Number 2. Texas Seawall, $31 billion. At number 2, we have the Texas Seawall, also known as the Ike Dike. Galveston Bay in southeast Texas has always been vulnerable to storms rolling in from the Gulf of Mexico. Back in 1900, the Great Galveston Hurricane killed 8,000 people, making it the worst natural disaster in U.S. history. 2 years later, the Galveston Seawall was constructed to stop a similar disaster from ever happening again. For 100 years, this seawall did its job, keeping out any major storm waves. But in 2008, Hurricane Ike hit the region, with waves so large they surged over the top of the Galveston seawall. The waves killed more than 100 people and caused $38 billion worth of damage. In 2018, the Army Corps of Engineers came up with a plan for a new and improved seawall, which is expected to do a better job than the current version. The project's key component will be a pair of surge gates, each of them 200 meters across. For most of the year, these gates will be open, allowing a natural flow of water in and out of the bay. But when a hurricane comes close, the gates will slam shut and hold back the waves. In total, the new seawall could cost in the region of $31 billion. It's an eye-watering figure, but less than the cost of the damages caused by Hurricane Ike. In other words, if another hurricane hits on a similar scale, this seawall could pay for itself and save many lives. Number 1. Sound Transit 3, $53 billion. At the top of the list, and almost double the cost of the Texas seawall, is Sound Transit 3. This new transport system for Seattle, Washington is meant to solve the congestion crisis which has blighted the city for years. Congestion in the region skyrocketed by a massive 95% between 2010 and 2015. It all comes down to overpopulation. Last year, the region grew by 50,000 people. and experts predict that it will increase by a further 800,000 in the next 2 decades. More people means more cars, and more cars mean more congestion. In 2022, most Seattle commuters spent...
So I could not live there.
No, it's too busy.
Way too busy.
Yeah. Not for me.
Need to do like a Hunger Games or something. Too many people on this earth now.
more than 50 hours stuck in traffic every year, the equivalent of 2 whole days. This isn't the worst congestion in the country. Commuters in Chicago have it 3 times worse, but Seattle are the ones who've decided to do something about it. Sound Transit 3 will create 300 kilometers of rail with the potential to carry 600,000 daily passengers. Rapid buses are also planned, as well as plenty of stops and stations. The project is expected to open in stages between 2024 and 2041, slowly improving the situation before the overcrowding spirals out of control. Which of these projects are you the most excited about? Let us know in the comments below. There's actually one more mega project that belongs on this list, which is even more ambitious than Sound Transit 3. Since we already covered it, you can find out more about California's high-speed railway in this video. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next.
So there's another one.
Yeah, we'll have to watch that. Looks interesting. Yeah, I didn't realise that. In fact, I did see building at Hudson Yards, so I did know that they were still building, but I didn't realise it was going to be apartments and stuff.
Maybe didn't realise it was part of.
No, yeah, just thought it was
a different building.
Yeah.
Which are you looking forward to?
Me personally,
the racetrack.
The racetrack, the
Yeah.
F1 racetrack.
F1, yeah, that will be pretty cool.
Mm.
Did it say it's coming in the
2023?
so this season?
Yeah.
Oh.
I didn't know it was in the
No.
diary
Or did they
this
start
season.
building it this year?
No, it said it's going to be finished for 2023.
They're
Oh.
not they've not really got much to build, have they? Because it's on the roads up. I mean, I guess they have to resurface
They're just
the roads,
resurfacing
don't
the
they?
roads
Yeah.
and
And put
building
like stands up.
Yeah.
what do they
Maybe
say, like pit
walls either
stop
side. A
things?
pit stop as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it said. They're building pit stops and what do you call it, bleachers.
Interesting.
I mean, I think that's the easiest answer. I'm not going to say the bloody Galveston, seawall.
Yeah.
That's not, I'm not most excited for that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I do like the turd mirror. That's pretty cool.
The Amazon.
The glass
Yeah.
poo.
Yeah,
the
that
glass
one.
poo.
Yeah, that does look pretty cool, to be fair.
Yeah.
I like it. Is it like trees inside it and stuff? Like, are they doing that new thing where they're like bringing nature inside or something?
Oh, is that a thing now?
I feel like it's a thing now.
I wonder if they have a slide in there.
Probably.
Just outside, you just
Yeah.
going out of the office in the evening.
There's a place down as you go into Manchester, don't you? Seen it, an office block, and they've got a slide that comes outside the building as well. Have you seen
One
it?
goes back
No.
in
Yeah,
the
it goes
bottom.
back in.
Whereabouts?
Just as you come through Hume, before you actually go into Manchester, it's on the left-hand side going into Manchester.
Do you know whether like a Mackey's and a KFC is like as you go up
Asda.
Princess Parkway?
I know where the Asda is.
It's just next to that.
Yeah, in the KFC. Yeah, I know
Right.
whereabouts you mean.
Yeah, it's right close to there.
And there's like
Oh.
what's it called, like Kids Allowed or something? Is that there?
Yeah.
No, I think I know where you mean.
Yeah, if you look there to the left, there's a office building. It's got
A silver slide coming out.
coming out of it.
Great. Don't work there if you don't like heights.
Oh mate, imagine we had one in here. I'll be on it every day. I'll be climbing it. People will be going down and I'll be climbing up it and everything. But yeah. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, please hit that like and subscribe button and we'll catch you on the next one. Cheers.
Bye.